Everything Craig Show here, February 26, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com, Retro Raw and Nitro from 19 years ago this week. A wretched edition of Raw coming up, No Way Out. One of the most famous matches of all, the retirement of Mick Foley for a month. Fuck, was it awful. Life's too short to be watching this. It was worse than Nitro, I thought.
By far.
Yeah, and Nitro sucked. Raw managed to be worse. I can't take this anymore.
I had a lot of fun watching Nitro.
You had fun watching
I
Nitro?
had a lot of fun watching
Wow.
Nitro.
Vinny watches the show and tweets and puts out gifs and he's all in.
Wow. Well, maybe I'll enjoy recapping it. I don't remember enjoying it. I remember thinking, is this show over yet? How long is this show? It went on forever.
It doesn't sound very enjoyable.
All right, here we go.
Monday Night Raw, WWF Monday Night Raw number 353, February 28th from the year 2000. So as noted, it's the night after No Way Out. So back in Madison Square Garden. They just did a pay-per-view from this place 6 weeks ago. They're back doing Raw.
Apparently they draw well in Madison
Well,
Square.
I guess there's that. So the Helmsleys come out for a promo. And Hunter at first is a little down in the dumps. He learned to respect Mick Foley, he says. He's actually sad that Foley's not going to be here anymore. He's prepared a special video tribute to Mick Foley.
I wonder if this was like a surprise 19 years ago. It sure ain't a surprise when they do this today. Every show, the heel comes out. Oh, I've got to put over my opponent. What a great person they are. It's a swerve.
It's a swerve.
They're a shithead.
The video turns from lots of pictures of Mick just being wacky to Hunter kicking his ass over and over again. And the shots of Foley where he was trying to look silly about at his dirt worst. They had a shot where he was walking away and scratching his ass, and they showed it 50 times.
I especially like the one where he got bounced off the announcer's table and his underwear had ripped in the back.
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah. I did like that some of these clips were from Foley's own home movies as a kid. So you can't be that embarrassed by them. He gave them to you. So they're having a great old time, but then out come the Big Show and Shane McMahon. And Shane...
Well, they Foley videos where Foley provided all of this footage, or they got the footage. Not sure if Foley gifted it to Triple H for this video.
Regardless. Shane at the pay-per-view helped the Big Show beat The Rock, and so Big Show is now your #1 contender for the world title. Shane gets in the ring with Triple H and Steph and says, I'm not going to sit back and let you steal this company from me. Oops. So, somebody missed a cue here. I don't know if it was The Rock or the music guy or something, but for a moment they just all stopped talking and looked at each other for 5 seconds.
I could not figure out if Shane forgot. He's either already forgetting lines, which given
That could be too.
watching him today, he very easily could have forgotten his line. But nobody helped him get his line.
Yeah.
And then finally they hit The Rock's music. I think my theory is, what are the chances they forgot to hit The Rock's music?
Low.
So I think that he forgot his fucking line, and they gave him a second to try and remember, and then he didn't remember, and so they hit The Rock's music, and he came out.
So Rock calls them all assholes. He admits the Big Show beat him, but he's not going to whine and cry about it. He's just going to go to WrestleMania anyway and win the title there. Not sure how that works, but that's his plan. Hunter says The Rock is back at the bottom of the ladder. Hunter then imitates himself, which is interesting, and he books The Rock against the Brooklyn Brawler. Somehow this took 20 minutes.
This sucked.
Yeah.
Is it punishment to get put in the ring with a Brooklyn Brawler?
They were going off about what a travesty this was and how embarrassing it was, and I'm thinking he had a top contenders match.
Right.
He was beaten. He should go to the bottom. That's
Right.
how it should be.
Well, other than the fact that that's never happened ever in the history of WWE.
Well, I realize
real life.
I realize that.
In sports.
In a real sport, that's what will go on.
Point of this was, it was a 20-minute promo. It went on forever, and it was no good.
Right.
So the show was off to a bad start. And it was legit 20 minutes.
Yes.
This was 20 minutes of the show. And all we got out of it was nothing.
Yeah.
We got The Rock versus the Brooklyn Brawler. It took 20 minutes to set up The Rock versus the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yes.
I was already sweating.
The Hardys are angry at the APA. They pick a fight. And so we get Hardys versus APA.
God. They do this match. They beat the hell out of Jeff Forever. Matt gets a blind tag, hits the ring, hits Bradshaw with a twist of fate, pins him. This asshole kicks out at 3. Yep. It's just... How? I just don't even get it. How could anybody respect JBL? It's been 19 years now. One horrific story about this guy after another. I mean, yeah, maybe he was told to kick out at 3, but like, why even bother then? Just have the guy pin Farouk or something. It's just ridiculous.
Angle, who is now the Intercontinental Champion and the European Champion, is backstage bragging to a security guard who looks totally bored. Then Angle comes out, issues an open challenge, and who should answer but Rikishi?
So, this was the point during the show where Paisley walked in before bedtime.
Oh.
Joey wants to sit on my lap and see what's on TV.
Okay.
She has no idea what wrestling is. She sees pro
Neither do I
wrestling,
anymore.
and she always, without question, says, "It's Daddy doing gymnastics." She says every time. So it's Rikishi versus Kurt Angle. And she looks at the screen. She goes, "It's Daddy doing gymnastics."
Okay, good.
I said, "Which one is Daddy?" She says, "The one with the big butt." Apparently I'm Rikishi.
You can do worse.
Yep. And then she said, "He did jump and sit." That's where you jump and do a seat drop on the trampoline.
I follow.
And Rikishi did that with a leg drop.
Yeah.
She was really entertained by this match. And then a bunch of stupid stuff happened.
So Rikishi does a
Not
stink
nearly
face.
as fun.
Rikishi does a stink face. Kurt is appalled. Leaves the ring, says, "These people came to see a wrestling match, not your butt in my face." Jericho and Chyna, who are still a thing for some reason, they come out and attack Kurt. It is 3-on-1 advantage babyfaces. Eventually the Radicals attack, and then Too Cool joins in. And the babyfaces clear the ring, and they get Rikishi to dance, and then they get Jericho and Chyna to dance, and the place just loses their minds.
Because people dance.
Everyone's going nuts to see this dance party. This was fun.
And Chris Jericho should stick to rocking.
Come on, Chyna sucked.
Well, she did.
I don't know what Jericho was doing, but he had a little bit of rhythm.
Well,
Chyna had nothing resembling rhythm.
I wouldn't even say that he had motion.
Yeah, kind of to the beat.
Chyna, the best I can say is that
She was alive.
I would say that she rocked, but she didn't rock, but she kind of teetered back and forth.
Sure.
Michael views Jericho and Chyna. The Radicals interrupt. Saturn challenges Jericho, who accepts. Chyna technically accepted for him, I guess. Edge and Christian versus Head Cheese. So Terry's on commentary. She has left the Hardy Boys and is apparently trying to get on Edge and Christian's good side.
Yeah, woo them back.
Recruit them or something, yeah.
Sure.
So, Al has a new music and video for Steve Blackman. Sucks. Terry says, "This is not doing anything for me at all." Terry explains that when she was in the hospital, the Hardys only saw her like twice a week instead of every single day. And therefore she turned on them. I've said a lot of bad things about Al Snow on this show. I thought Al looked great in this match. Had a fun little 3-minute tag match. So, Steve Blackman is running wild. He's about to win when Terry unveils her cunning plan.
I actually zoned out. I have no idea what the finish was. I'm looking at my notes right now. I think that Edge and Christian won, right?
Terry came down to the ringside with a large black garbage sack, something aside. So
I thought she was doing commentary.
she would.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. She reveals from the garbage sack a big giant cheese head, and she puts it on, and this distracts Blackman. He is infuriated, and Christian dropkicks him, and Edge spears him.
I'm so happy I zoned out.
Yeah.
The show is markedly worse now that I know that.
It probably was a regular-sized cheese head. She's just very tiny.
That's fair. That's fair. Rock is backstage, conveniently standing next to a picture of Elvis Presley. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that they're in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
They put this show together for the Mecca. Dude, I'd have banned them back then. Forget 2019. ROH would have been running in 2001 when they started up, 2002.
The Brooklyn Brawler failed to defeat The Rock.
What?
But you know what? He got the heat on him.
He did get offense on The Rock.
I'm not making that up, everybody. The Brooklyn Brawler got the heat on The Rock. And Rock was forced to fight back against the Brooklyn Brawler. And then he did win.
Well, you know, if you beat a guy out of the gate, it means nothing. He made Brawler looked strong before he beat him.
This was a 40-second match.
It's the best I could do. So Rock challenges Hunter to a fight.
That's even worse, because that means Brawler beat on him for half the match.
Rock challenges Hunter to a fight. Hunter is about to fight, but Shane puts a stop to it and says, no, I see how this goes. Next thing you know, he's goading you into putting this title on the line. They say, Rock, it's going to be Triple H and the Big Show at WrestleMania. That's all there is to it. And Rock says, quote, if WrestleMania is going to be Triple H and the Big Show, then WrestleMania is going to absolutely suck.
I howled.
He's not wrong.
That was the best thing on this wrestling show.
It may have been, actually. It's funny, because he says this, and it's blatantly true, and everyone cheers, and the bad guys all have a huddle. Like, you know what? That probably would suck. So, Steph then books a handicap match. Rock versus Big Show and Triple H. And if he can pin either man, then he will be the top contender for Mania.
He has to what now again?
He has to pin either man.
Okay.
Shane is upset, but The Rock accepts his challenge, and that's that.
They make it very clear, if you do not win, it's your last chance.
No. If you have to pin
Yes.
either man,
It's
not
your
win.
last chance. Yes. It's your last chance.
Saturn versus Jericho. Malenko pulls the ropes down as Jericho goes for a cabrada, and Jericho goes flying out of the ring. Malenko lays out China too, and then Saturn suplexes China. Somehow the ref is distracted. She low blows Saturn, and Jericho hits the cabrada for the win.
It's always Malenko that beats up China. You ever notice that?
It was Saturn that gave her suplex here.
That's true.
Dean punched her.
Yeah. Saturn suplexed her. Anyway, point of this is nothing match, mess by the end. This was one of those shows where, for some reason, like, every finish had to have 10 guys interfering 10 times.
Yeah.
I was so sick of it by the end.
Both shows.
They get in, Malenko and China get involved. China gets laid out. Malenko gets involved a second time. China gets involved a second time. And all this, by the way, is in a match that goes like 2 minutes. Interference twice in 2 minutes.
So Billy Gunn got hurt. As I recall, he was doing a fame ass to the Dudleys through a table or something. He hurt his shoulder. Now, quick story. From later this year, he's had a long time with a shoulder injury.
You are a Billy Gunn
I
historian.
have a lot of Billy Gunn facts.
I have no idea why.
I don't know. For some reason, late in 2000, I bought a copy of WWF magazine, and it had a picture of Billy from his rehab.
I remember this vividly.
Like 220 pounds.
Oh, are you kidding me? 180, maybe.
Ass facts with very high.
He was so
Let's not do that.
skinny.
Yes, he got small quickly. So he's hurt, and Road Dogg says, we have a title shot, it'll be me and X-Pac. And Billy's pissed and says, no, I'm ready to go, it doesn't matter. And Hunter tries to calm him down, Billy says, I'll kick your ass with one arm.
The best is, he's got a fucking sling on his arm.
He does.
And the other two guys in DX are healthy.
Yeah.
So they want to fight for the tag belts, and he's mad. And his exact line is, what do you mean I'm not ready? Well, you got a giant sling on your goddamn arm. Hunter says, listen, now's not the time. Edge and Christian are the #1 contenders, but we're going to use a little bit of executive influence, and DX is getting a shot tonight, but it's Road Dogg and X-Pac. This makes Billy so mad. And so DX beats the shit out of him, deservedly.
Sure.
They boot his ass out of the room, and we're supposed to get behind Billy Gunn as a singles babyface.
I guess.
Vinny, historian, tell me how this goes.
As I recall, badly.
Okay, just checking.
No, it's a
Because
long...
it went badly the last time, too.
He's
if I
gone
recall.
for a long time, so maybe Billy and Chuck by the time he gets back. Let's see. Mark Henry. Oh, God, here we go. Mark Henry versus Crash Holly for the hardcore title. Henry is destroying him. He's about to win. But Mae Young says, I want to do a splash. She does a splash.
Where's Mark to say, what are you talking about? You're with child.
And 80.
He just stood there.
Yeah.
To be fair, she was only 76 feet.
I apologize. So she does the splash. She sells her abdomen. They call for EMTs. She gets wheeled out. There's no finish to this hardcore championship match. They go to break. They come back. They announce Mae Young is in labor.
Yeah.
This is where my mother walked into the room.
Oh!
So I turned it off
Yes.
and went into the other room.
Yes.
Nothing personal, Mother. You don't want to watch this.
I'm doing you a favor, Mom.
Yes.
Okay, this pissed me off. Taz versus Chris Benoit. So they've been throwing Taz in there with Giants to make him as small as possible so he can't do any of his cool moves. They put him in there with Benoit, who was awesome and was the right size to do all of Taz's stuff. They could, and God bless them, they tried their best to have a good match with the 90 seconds or so they had. They're chopping each other and suplexing each other. Meanwhile, in 90 seconds, Eddie Guerrero interferes twice and gets ejected, and then Bossman and Albert immediately attack.
Yeah, Eddie gets inside the ring to distract the ref. He's told to get out. That's the first time. Mm-hmm. He interferes a second time. The ref ejects him. I'm like, I've seen this 10 times on this show.
Yeah.
Then Albert and Bossman also get in the ring. Now it is a disqualification. And then I wrote, and I quote, "Life is too short to watch shows like this. I should have quit then."
And once again, they couldn't have made Taz look any shorter.
Nope. And they destroyed him, left him land, made fun of his being the hometown boy, and they left. So, now we're getting to the meat of this Mae Young thing.
Excuse me?
Don't say
Must we? So
The gist of this Mae Young thing.
The EMT says, we ain't going to make it to the hospital. Wheel her backstage. They go backstage. He asks for a garbage can. I guess 2 garbage cans to put her legs up. There was nothing else to put her legs up on. It had to be garbage cans. So they started looking down yonder. Mm-hmm. Now, there's so many things about this. Like, it was so stupid, but I did laugh. You know, here's the thing about this thing, everybody. I'm sure it was profoundly idiotic, okay? I'm sure in 2000, and I know this because I watched in 2000, it was one of the dumbest things in the history of wrestling, okay? But we're watching it in 2019. It is stupid as it is. I'm fairly convinced that if they did this in 2019, we'd probably forget about it by the end of the year.
I see your point, because there's so much more stupid stuff now. But my reaction to this was, a lot of times in these retro shows, I'll say something like, man, I forgot how horrible this was. Mm-hmm. Or, I remember this being horrible, but after all the horrible shit we've seen, it doesn't seem quite as horrible.
This was worse.
I remember how horrible this was, and I braced myself, and then somehow it's 100 times more horrible than I remember.
I've heard other people say that, including Lance. But, like, I watched it, and it wasn't as bad as I remembered.
I don't even know what to tell you.
Because I've seen so much bad stuff in 19 years. I mean, it was bad, but there was some stuff to laugh at. Like, why was Pat Patterson looking down there? Why was Briscoe looking down there? Nobody had to look down there.
That's true.
She's out of control, and so they give her a cigar to calm her down.
Sure.
The EMT is trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And he's the first guy to say, "May, when's the last time you had your period?" She says, 1957. Which, by the way, she would have been 34. Seems a little early. But anyway, so he goes up to Mark and matter-of-factly, he says, "Are you sure you impregnated this woman?" I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Like, this EMT didn't find the idea that he impregnated Mae Young ridiculous until he learned that she hadn't had a period since 1957. Then he began to question the situation.
And meanwhile, Patterson and Briscoe are retching.
But they can't help but look.
They're like fake throwing up. And by the way, this EMT, this doctor, I found out this week, Brutal Bob was working extra. And they had him slotted to play the EMT.
Wow.
And he talked himself out of it, basically.
Oh, what a mistake. He could have been a legend.
He is a legend. How dare you?
So, I just watched it and I thought, I just can see Vince just howling, crying with laughter, counting his money as he watches this segment. And the balls on this man. He put this fucking thing on national television. He risked his deal with the USA Network, I feel, putting this fucking thing on television. And the payoff, everybody, was that, in fact, she gave birth to a hand. And what's funny about it is, the story is...
Oh, gosh. I was smartened up to this story just this week.
Oh, no. I knew this forever. the hand, in the old days, there were vibrators shaped as hands. So the story was, at some point, May had gotten a little excited, and the hand had fallen inside. It was stuck in there.
For half a century.
Well, we don't know how long. Well, I guess maybe 1957. Maybe that's what caused the problem.
I guess.
So, the whole key to this is,
I have so many questions.
they never revealed why it was a hand.
No.
They pulled the hand out, and Pat Patterson turns to everybody and says, "Let's give Mae Young a hand." And they'll go, "Hey!" And they cut away. It's never mentioned again. The announcers don't talk about it.
Until today.
There's no fucking recap.
No.
It just, that's the end. That's the idea that they had months ago.
This was the plan.
This
It's
was
not-
the plan.
It's not, let's do a pregnancy angle, we'll figure out the end later. Wow, that actually makes it even worse. Yeah.
What more is there to add about this?
Well, it's a Vince McMahon segment, so there had to be a fart joke in there. We had Patterson
Sure.
apparently carrying around vice grips to get the doctor to pull the hand out of Miss May.
I mean, who doesn't?
Here, comfort, you probably do, actually.
Sure.
Go in the truck right now.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of vomit and slime and
I like just a few weeks ago, Mark Henry was very excited by some panties.
oh,
Okay. And then here he is, and he's waving the air like something smells rotten.
well, she farted here, Craig.
I see.
I like that Mark Henry thought he was going to be a dad. He thought she was pregnant.
Yes, I thought that was made abundantly clear.
And then when he finds out it's just a hand instead of a baby, he just gives her a hand.
Yeah.
This sucked, dude. You're being
Yes.
far too kind.
No, I didn't say it didn't suck. I said profoundly idiotic. Can't believe this aired on national television and they didn't get canceled. That was it.
I wrote this is 100 times worse than I remember, and I remember it being fucking awful.
No.
I wrote the official lowest point in professional wrestling history.
No. Get out of here.
Okay, this week. I forgot to write that.
It was the low point of this episode of Raw.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Which actually is saying something.
I'd rather watch this 100 times than another interview with Baron Corbin making fun of Roman Reigns having leukemia.
Would you watch it
I
with your-
fucking stand by that.
Would you watch it with your mother in the room?
Dude, my mom, she probably saw this when it aired live.
Dudley versus Road Dogg and X-Pac. So on paper, this is a fun match. The problem is nobody wanted to cheer for either team. I believe this may have been the birth of the X-Pac sucks chant.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's give him a hand.
I guess so. Kane comes
The
out.
birth.
I don't like to acknowledge you when you think you're funny.
No, that was funny.
So Kane,
I didn't think.
Kane comes out to kill X-Pac. He runs away, so Road Dogg and the Dudleys all get chokeslammed instead. And the bell never rings. For the second time on this show, we have a championship match with no finish. Hunter, the Big Show, and the McMahons have a chat.
Yeah,
We get the real Mick Foley tribute video. It's awesome.
that sucked. What? The original was set to "I Will Remember You."
By Skid Row?
No, you idiot. So they edited in
That
some
would work.
goofy music, and so the music didn't match the actual.
Right.
The original, like everything that she's saying, they matched up something.
I see.
To play off the lyrics.
I see.
This one, they just put some stupid music in there, and it was cool to see like a bunch of clips. It was still like a nice video, but the original was like 1,000 times better. It's the opposite of giving birth to a hand.
Well, you got me there.
Thank you.
The Rock is walking backstage. Then we got Rock versus Triple H and Big Show.
Here's something for y'all to think about. Besides the fact this is in Madison Square Garden. With the exception of Mick Foley, who's virtually immobile at this point, that's your WrestleMania main event right there. Fuck, it was so boring. I've never seen a more boring match. They may as well
I've
throw in...
never seen a more boring match.
If they would have thrown Corbin in there, maybe it would have been more boring. They just beat on The Rock for an hour. Looking at the clock, the overrun. We got 7 more minutes. They fucking just beat on him and beat on him and beat on him. It's so boring. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Oh, get out of here.
I thought it was a fine TV main event.
Boring.
They did what they could with these 3 guys, beating up The Rock. It wasn't like they were just standing there just doing chin locks. They were doing stuff.
To be truthful, I thought there was more boring matches on Nitro than this.
I didn't say there weren't. I just said this was
You said
boring.
it was the most boring match you've ever seen.
All right, obviously not that I've ever seen, but it was the most boring thing I've seen
Hyperbole.
in the 5 minutes that I was watching this match.
I see.
So eventually, Rock ducks something. Big Show wipes out Hunter. And Rock takes out Show and Shane. He hits the rock bottom on Hunter and the people's elbow. But then before he can get the pin, Shane attacks for the DQ. So it does not, by the letter of the law they all agreed to, he should not get his title shot now.
Right.
And he beat the Rock up and left him laying, and that was the end of the show.
Yeah, all the Foley chants, he just beat up the Rock. You know, this was heat.
This was heat.
This was a heat show. We're gonna get heat from start to finish. All right, you ready?
I am prepared.
Well, here we go. Gotta turn up the music. Oh, I did. What happened here? Okay.
I am still prepared.
Fuck you. Very professional.
There he goes.
Oh, you know the people that talk, Rob. Go ahead, Vinny.
The finishes on this show were count out, pin after distraction, clean pin, pin after interference on both sides, DQ due to interference, no finish in the tag team championship match, DQ in a handicap match, and I forgot to write down a no finish in the hardcore championship match.
What a great show.
Sure.
No, it sucked.
Yeah. Yes, Rob.
Where's your flag?
I gotta hear. That stupid flag. Yes,
Well,
Rob.
I'll wait my Minoru Suzuki socks.
Why isn't your mic working?
I don't know.
You can't talk then.
Why the hell of you?
They did something to it.
Okay. Should I just move mine over?
Talk again.
Talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Operator.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, no. I
Trained
remember.
professional.
Yes. I'm actually not a trained professional. I'm a pseudo-amateur, not trained producer.
So you're trying to get fired, or what are you doing here?
Well, you already threatened me once today with that, so what the hell?
I was here.
All right. Watch it. Go ahead, Vinny.
There you go.
Nitro.
WCW Monday Nitro number 232, February 20th of the year 2000. Now, we have been, the past month or so, been building up to a feud between Sid Vicious, the WCW champion, and his top challenger, Jeff Jarrett, the chosen one. So this show opens, and there's a Sid versus Tank Abbott video package.
I think this was way cheesier than giving birth to a hand. This goofy video package they put together was so corny. It's just ridiculous.
So first I was just confused. I thought, is that happening? Is that going to be on this show? So also in this video package, Kevin Nash is crazy now. Dallas Page is helping Ric Flair beat Vampiro. I have no idea why. And Jarrett is breaking guitars over a ref's head. So then Sid arrives, seething. He just gets out of his car in his blue sweatshirt and turns to the camera and seethes. And Tank arrives and was cheering for him, and yes, the main event of this show in a world title match, Sid Vicious versus Tank Abbott. Yep, fuck yes.
I'll remember you said that.
Oh, you can remember that.
I heard Vinny squeal all the way from my house.
I'm so excited. So Jeff Jarrett, who the storyline is, has been breaking guitars over random people's heads. Mike Tenay, confronts him.
Hey,
Yeah.
there's more, Vinny. He broke a guitar over Tanay's head.
He did, they brought it up here.
Yeah, Tanay doesn't give a shit. Totally no-sells it. Just goes up and starts asking this guy. And the key to this interview, everybody, is Jeff Jarrett explains. Listen carefully. I don't care, he says, that Tank Abbott is getting a title shot tonight. I don't care. My title shot uncensored is signed, sealed, and delivered. Mike Tenay, who mind you was hit with a guitar by Jeff Jarrett recently. Mike Tenay's question is, if Tank wins, do you think you can beat him? Could you ask a dumber question? The fuck do you expect Jeff Jarrett to say? Jeff says, yes, I can beat him.
He
Guaranteed it, yes. Maybe Tanae's writing all the questions for the interview people on WWE nowadays.
So this show got off to a horrible in-ring start, I'll say. It's the Mama Lukes versus Lane and Idol.
Can I just say something here?
Please.
You know, I've been doing interviews with people for many, many years, and rarely, I'm sure you can find some instances, but rarely when I'm interviewing somebody, is there like a very awkward moment. You want to know why?
Buff Bagwell.
That's totally different. Okay? Because why bother asking a stupid question? Why bother asking a question that you know you're not going to get an answer to? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, who writes these fucking questions for people on Raw and now on Nitro? Why would you ever go into the UFC and say, you know you're fighting Conor McGregor next week on pay-per-view.
Pack your bags, Van Run.
Do you think you can beat him? Who the fuck would ever ask that stupid fucking question to the challenger for somebody in a fight? And that question is asked all the time on Raw and now on Nitro. And you know what the person always answers? They say, what a stupid question. Because it is a goddamn stupid question.
So backstage, Lane and Idol, they got their blue jeans and the sunglasses,
Shiny shirts.
very shiny shirts. So they dumped Miss Hancock a few weeks ago. She comes back wanting to be the manager again. They blow her off and say, you're getting in the way of our rat chasing.
By the way, these are the two characters 3 months ago. They were gay.
Yes.
What's your point, Vinny?
So, they try to leave, but forget being out of earshot, they're like still in front of her. And she just looks up and says, I think it's time for me to teach these boys a lesson.
What surprises you about this?
I don't know, man. I just forgot.
Do you remember when she debuted like 3 months ago and was the worst actor of all time?
Well, she's gotten no better.
Okay.
She's not improved.
It takes time.
Now, the first 10 seconds of this here wrestling match, seriously among the worst 10 seconds of wrestling I've ever seen. They try to do some double team spot with guys running off the ropes, and they're at a sink, and all four guys are fucking up at once in totally different ways. It's mind-numbing. I was blown away. So Disco's out there doing commentary. He's managing the Mama Lukes. Madden, who is the heel announcer, is still burying Disco. Miss Hancock comes out. Disco goes to interfere. Miss Hancock dances on the table in her itty-bitty skirt. Lane and Johnny the Bull conveniently have dollar bills in their pants to give her. So eventually everyone is distracted. All the wrestlers and the ref and Disco. And
Except Vito.
And the announcers. Vito is the only one who kept his head in the game.
Because he got to win.
That's true.
He hit Idol with a DDT and pinned him. This was a World Tag Team Championship match.
And he's Idol now. He's not Lodi.
No. Yes. Yeah.
What? I don't know.
So Vito asks Miss Hancock to dance for them. She comes in and dances with the Mama Lukes.
So not only did he get to win the match,
You have to dance with the girl.
he got to dance with the girl.
And I'm not going to say he danced better than Miss Hancock, but for totally different reasons, it may have been more entertaining.
Well, he danced better than China.
That's true.
Sure.
That's true. Now, this is still one segment. The Harrises run out and kill everybody.
Yep.
They kill everyone, they cut a promo, they get cut off by their own music, and they leave.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Craig. Backstage, on Billy Kidman's stolen camera.
God. Yeah, I got it. Okay, listen. I got to talk about this, okay? Because I talked about it last week. Last week, Buff hit on
Symphony.
Right. Ryan Shamrock. And she shot him down and humiliated him. Okay? He's the babyface.
And then he said, please don't tell it.
Okay?
Actually, he bullied her. You better not tell anybody.
This week, he tries to hit on Liz. Liz says, Buff, package. Buff, package. Buff, package. No, thank you. She walks off. He's appalled. He's been shot down a second time.
He's the baby face.
Okay?
Are we sure?
He's the babyface, all right? Now, later, actually, right after this,
Yes.
they go to Ric Flair, Luger, and Liz are watching on tape. Flair goes, Bagwell must be out of his mind. We need to go take care of business. And so, these three men decide that they've got to go take care of this fella that hit on Luger's woman. They're the heels. Okay?
Okay.
All right. My point of all of this is, because I need to be a fair man, all right? When something stupid is booked, and you get the wrong reaction from what you think you're going to get, you're dumb, okay? When they did the Becky Lynch deal, where she won and she won and she won and she won and she fairly earned a title shot, and then Charlotte waltzed her way in before SummerSlam, got her way into the match, and then won by pinning her friend from behind, Becky, and then Becky turned and beat the shit out of her, and they were surprised that Becky was cheered. They're dumb, okay? With that said, for the second week in a row, when Bagwell comes out for this fucking match, he's a huge babyface. So it doesn't matter what we thought about this, okay? It doesn't matter who we thought should be the babyface or the heel. Whatever they're fucking doing, for some reason, maybe it's because it's the 90s, it's working. And Bagwell's a babyface.
Maybe these super hot girls shoot him down so the ugly ones go, hey, I might have a shot.
I have no explanation. So, we have predictions for tonight's epic main event. Bam Bam Bigelow, make a long story short, he predicts Sid will beat Tank because he has more experience in the pro wrestling ring.
Sure.
Ricky Rockman of the Nitro Parties are back.
Ricky's back. The show's turning around.
Hey, the good news is that means spring break is coming.
Spring break is coming.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Everything about this segment
And I
was
can
lame.
fast forward through everything that was involved there.
Somebody's going into a pool.
So this Hogan promo.
Oh, incredible.
First of all, he's backstage in like a pre-tape. Probably not even at the
Not
building.
backstage. He looks like he's in a sewer.
It wasn't like a giant pipe. That's actually true.
He's in a giant,
He was
enormous pipe.
Hanging out with Michelangelo and Donatello.
I was going to make that joke. Nicely done, Vinny.
His arm is in a cast.
Yes.
Still.
He's incredibly leathery, which is ironic.
It's true.
He actually looks 19 years older than he does today, and it was 19 years ago. I don't know how that's even possible.
He was more leathery than the belt.
He looked like a pterodactyl back there, cutting this promo.
So
And what a promo it was.
he talks about taking the slow. This is his words.
Yeah.
The slow rolling coffin to the emergency room. What?
Well, he was afraid that Jimmy Hart, and I quote, it's not a direct quote, this is what he inferred. He was afraid Jimmy Hart might die
I guess.
as a result of the beating that Luger gave him.
So
He broke his hand, nearly stopped his heart, apparently.
a weakened, withered, clinging to life Jimmy Hart was able to whisper one word. Yapapai.
Oh, yes.
So
Yapapai, says Hulk.
did he do this with Vader too, or was this the debut of the Yapapai strap match?
I seem to recall he did it another time. I don't know if he fucked it up both times, but it's the Yavapai Indians. And he decided it was Yavapai.
Yeah.
He screwed it up.
So he's shouting and screaming, "You will understand what the Yapapai mean by the Indian strap match."
The Yavapai Indian strap match.
So this Yavapai tribe,
Yavapai, Craig.
okay, Yavapai, are they,
Of course not.
is this what they do for sport?
Do they have strap matches?
Are they good disciplinarians?
Kevin Sullivan wrote this. That's all you need to know. I'm surprised it wasn't a Chinese strap match from 2,000 years ago.
Didn't have it on a scroll.
Yeah.
So all I could think watching this, besides the absurdity of the Yapapai, was this is now the year 2000,
Yeah.
the 21st century. And he's doing the exact same Hulk Hogan thing from
Yes.
1983.
Yes.
Yes.
And not the Hulk Hogan that was in WWF after this, where the nostalgia was part of it.
Vinny, let me explain this to you. It's exactly what Sullivan said about the Dungeon of Doom. He wanted to make Hulk Hogan happy, and so he created the Dungeon of Doom. A bunch of giant cartoons that Hulk Hogan could beat up. So Sullivan's back. So he's going to make Hulk Hogan happy by giving him an 80s promo about a Yapapai strap match with his favorite opponent that he gets to win. What's the problem?
That is true. So Gene interviews Flair. Flair has Hogan's weightlifting belt. He declares Hulkamania is dead. He's ranting and being...
Yeah, how'd he get his weight belt? Hogan had it.
No, he had a different strap.
They beat him.
Oh.
Yeah, there could be more than one. Yeah. But they're probably all at the wall at Postamini or whatever. So,
Went out of business in 95.
what's the one in Florida called?
This
Oh,
is
Soft
Surf
Current.
Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pasta Mania. Jesus.
So Lex has a chair with Sting's logo like taped onto it.
There hasn't been a Pasta Mania since you graduated high school, Vinny.
Look, this is an old show. It's about Hulk
Not
Hogan.
that old.
It's not that much different. It was like 5 years after that.
It's eternity.
Listen, Lex has a chair with Sting's logo on it, and that's weird.
Okay.
So, they're running down Minnesota. Flair is sure to clarify he was born here, but he left as soon as he could.
I used to be from here, he says.
Yes. So, this offends a local legend. And out to defend the honor of Gopher Country comes Kurt Hennig. And Kurt Hennig and Ric Flair going back and forth are awesome.
It was almost as good as Flair and Terry Funk.
It was,
Except,
actually.
believe it or not, and this is hard to believe, but it's true. Kurt Hennig was crazier than Terry Funk
He actually was.
because he vowed. I hope you can do the finishers report later, Vinny.
Mhm.
He vowed that if he could not beat Ric Flair tonight, he would strip buck-ass naked and streak down the streets of Minneapolis next Monday night.
That's what he said.
That's not that too out of character. I mean, Prince is from there. Go ahead.
Kurt Hennig is not Prince.
What are you talking about?
Probably wore those,
This
chaps.
is very out of character for Kurt Hennig to run naked down the street.
There's lots of people from Minnesota who are not Prince.
No.
Almost all of them. I don't believe it. It's really just the one guy.
I was going to say, almost all of them? Who's the other one? Prince Iakea?
No.
He's not from Minneapolis.
Mike Tenay interviews Booker. So they did a tag match on Thunder with Booker and Kidman. And Tori got knocked off the apron. And Kidman was tending to her, which left Booker high and dry, and he got beat. So Booker's upset that Kidman left him hanging because he was messing with his hoochie. So they're going to fight tonight. Kidman and Tori are walking, bitching about how the camera got stolen again.
It's been a week, dude. Get a new camera.
I guess.
What, he found it last week and got stolen again?
That's what
Is
they
that
said.
the story?
Yes. They said I can't believe it got stolen again.
What a stupid storyline. Why not just the thief still has it?
I like that it got stolen and they just left it randomly out again, thinking nothing would happen.
Tony Schiavone is on the phone at the announce desk. He says his inside sources have told him Sting is going to be there. Okerlund's interviewing Jeff Jarrett.
Okay. May I?
Yes.
Because I recapped it earlier.
Sure.
So earlier, I'll even go back and recap, like we're doing a recap on the show. He doesn't care that Tank Abbott is getting a championship match. He has a title shot at Uncensored, is signed, sealed, and delivered. So, an hour later, Gene Okerlund goes back to Jeff Jarrett. Now he's outraged that Tank Abbott is getting a championship match. Outraged! And he's outraged that tonight he must be facing Vampiro with the U.S. title on the line. And then, after all that outrage, he says, I don't care. I will beat Vampiro tonight and win the title at the pay-per-view. This is a bad professional wrestling television show.
It is. I do want to add, though, Jarrett is accompanied by a bunch of good-looking women.
Sure.
And Gene, at the start of this promo, addresses them and says, ladies, it's good to see you back in your feet.
Yeah,
That was funny.
it was.
Booker versus Kidman. So Booker has lost the goofy Leave It to Beaver music. He has...
Maybe.
Well, no, they were talking about it.
Okay.
They traded it in, yeah.
All right.
So I don't know what music you used then. They have some generic network song now. Heavy metal, Mark Madden called it. So there were lots of angle slams in the show, which amused me. Booker did one here. I think Iakea did one later. So Tori gets in the apron. Then the Harrises attack both guys with a DQ. Then Tori gets knocked off the apron, sells her ankle. This sucked.
Why, when these women know they're going to take a bump off the apron, they wear the highest heels possible so they can turn an ankle?
She fake hurt her ankle, dude.
I understand that, Brian.
Okay, well then that's why she wore the high heels. She had to fake roll her ankle.
But she could have really rolled her ankle.
And
in the
she
high
didn't. She's talented.
heels. Is that so?
I don't know. They can figure it out.
So Harlem Heat laugh at Booker.
Oh. Gene is with the new Harlem Heat, okay? They're laughing, and Stevie explains, this is what happens when you don't have anybody watching your back. So now what happens next is a tag team comment.
Yes.
Stevie is supposed to start, and Big T is supposed to end, okay? This is not hard, all right? Stevie says, it's just like our mama said. A hard head. Dead silence. For seemingly like a minute. I'm like, did he forget what his mama said? And then, finally, Big T just screams, makes for a soft ass. I went, what? What did your mama say?
I've never heard my mama say that.
A hard head makes a soft ass.
Makes for a soft ass.
Did he say 4?
I believe so.
It's Big T, so you have to be sure.
Well, he may. I'm not sure what he said. That's what I got out of it.
That's pretty much what he said.
And then if I was not confused enough, Jay Biggs made some joke about graffiti and they all laughed.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I laughed a lot.
Lash LaRue predicted that Sid would win in the main event. And Lash on this show and Jim Ross on Raw on the same night both made that doggle hunt references. A clips from the Arnold Schwarzenegger bodybuilding show.
This guy.
Some guy with what they claimed were 28-inch biceps.
They were.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were fake.
Now,
And
is the injection stuff?
the best part of this is there's this guy with these enormous fake arms.
Popeye never had arms this
I mean,
big.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
okay? He's showing them off to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Arnold is looking at this guy and, like, he's trying to be nice,
Yes.
but you just know what's going on in his head.
Yeah.
This guy's proportions are preposterous.
He has skinny legs, flat ass, no chest, Popeye arms. Yes, and Arnold's just trying to stifle a laugh the whole time.
And they cut back to the announcers, and Mark Madden says, and I quote, "That can't be for real." No shit. I'm not sure that he knew it wasn't for real. Otherwise, why would you say that? It's ridiculous.
Gene interviews Norman Smiley. Norman says what Dustin Rose did to Terry Funk was a crime. Tonight, Norman won't be screaming. He'll be screaming Dustin Rhodes.
This was a good promo. Sure. Made me sad what they did with it later.
Brian Knobbs versus 3 Count.
Ugh.
3 Count challenges Knobbs to a handicap match for the hardcore title. He accepts.
3-on-1.
At this point, 40 minutes into the show, they put up a Night of Championships graphic.
Yeah.
Why did you wait till the show was a third over to do that? So he beats them up for a while with weapons.
They all hit each other in the head with shit,
Yeah.
chairs, garbage can lids. Just fucking sucks. They pin Knobs.
Yeah.
And all I could think was, these poor bastards.
And they had a feud with him.
Now they have to go out and get hit in the head with shit every single week till he loses his title. This was terrible.
Vampiro is hanging out in some green light somewhere. He's brooding. Maybe it's time to let somebody else taste the pain, he says. He's talking about Jared not being ready, and they cut away mid-sentence to show Dustin Rhodes walking. Had a bunch of dudes outside chanting for Sid. I think Scott D'Amore was in there. Gene is preparing to interview Brian Knobbs and Fit Finley. And he says, he makes a statement, it's not even a question. That's something about, can't believe what I've just seen. And Knobbs interrupts him to say, and I quote, "Ah, bah, bah." And Gene looks at him, and then just powers through. So Knobbs blames himself for this loss, for accepting the stupid challenge, let his ego get in the way. He wants a rematch. I've just totally lost place of where we are in the show.
He wants a rematch. Finley says, we'll
Oh,
cross
God,
that bridge
that's right.
later.
Yeah.
We're going to do a 6-man Thursday.
Yes.
Gene says there's only 2 of you and 3 of them. Fitz says, no, there are 3 of us.
It's time to bring out the dog.
Knob says we're bringing out the dog. The dog.
Norman Smiley versus Dustin Rhodes. So Dustin, of course, the son of Dusty Rhodes, who we watched the 1980 shows where he was the Midnight Rider. Dustin comes out here to a music that's like an evil version of the Midnight Rider song. It was really cool. Norman is out there for a pro wrestling match in big, giant football shoulder pads. At no point in the show does Dustin say anything, or the referee, or the announcers.
That's his gimmick. He's been wearing the shoulder pads for months.
It's like in hardcore matches. This is just a wrestling match. They do him no good. Dustin beats him up forever, hits a top rope lariat, and wins.
Sad.
And this is the kind of show that when a guy who has a pay-per-view match, as Dustin Rhodes and Funk at the pay-per-view, when a guy who has a pay-per-view match coming up hits a move and pins a guy who is not on the pay-per-view, it's bizarre. It's just bizarre.
What was Mark Madden calling him? I forgot to write it down. It was something 2000.
The American Dream 2000.
Why is that bizarre, by the way? Someone on the pay-per-view pinned someone not
Because
on
it's WCW in 2000.
Oh, because they did something right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett goes for a walk. Vampiro is skulking backstage. Nick Patrick predicts Tank Abbott will win.
I hope he's not the fucking ref. What are they asking the referees for? A stupid company. Now let me talk about this next match, because it wasn't bad, but Nick Patrick is the worst referee I've ever seen in my lifetime, okay? We need a Hall of Off, the Nick Patrick Memorial Hall of Off.
We actually do.
Put Nick Patrick in. So Jarrett comes out, he sends all the women to the back, because of course he's a heel, he wants to win on his own.
We could name that one after it.
Or he just didn't want them around because Vamp is out there. So Nick Patrick is the ref, and this match is just a fucking mess. So Vampiro hits a Uranage. Nick Patrick counts 1, 2. Jeff kicks out. He counts 3.
Yeah.
So the Harrises then hit the ring right in front of Nick Patrick. He's looking right at him. Not a disqualification.
No.
Sid runs down, and he runs wild on the Harrises.
My God, did he run
Wild. Awesome worthy this was.
This is amazing.
You've never seen a clubbering forearm. Like the running, lunging clubbering forearms. Remember when Kane did this to Shane?
Yes.
He did it one time. Okay? Sid did this 10 times here. I don't know how I haven't remembered this. Jeff hits Vamp with the belt. Referee counts Nick Patrick. 1, 2, stops. Timekeeper rings the bell. What is happening?
I don't know.
Then Jeff hits a stroke and wins. They can't do anything right.
Yeah, I don't know why this is 17 different run-ins and finishes, and I don't know. I do like the line where they said, Jarrett is now being fined at $10,000 every time he breaks a guitar over somebody's head. The man says, well, he obviously makes a great living, a lot of money.
It's funny, too, because how over Vampiro was. The crowd was, like, totally behind him.
Well,
They haven't been doing anything to push the guy.
Hasn't been a new top guy in WCW since Goldberg. True. At this point, his rise was 2 years ago.
Oh, it's somebody new. Yay.
Yeah, anyone. Mama Luke's paid somebody $20 to make a delivery to the Harris brothers. Fans are outside chanting for Tank. All right, so we go back to this Nitro party. Now, 3 Count's gimmick is that they're dorks. And they think they're cool when they dance, but no one else thinks they're cool. Apparently no one who produced this Nitro party got that word, because now 3 Count's like actually cool. And we are told when they dance, the chicks go with them.
To be fair, it's Ricky Rackman telling you this. This could be total bullshit.
That's true.
So Disco questions who Ricky is and why he's there.
Fair.
Excellent question, Disco.
I want Disco.
I don't know either.
So Disco goes to teach 3 Count how to dance.
Where was this show from? I wrote it down.
Minnesota.
And these were allegedly in Ohio?
The party's at Ohio State. And Disco
They're going around the country on the way to spring break,
They
Craig.
just wrestled.
Pay attention to Rackman.
They just wrestled.
Pre-taped.
Yes. They didn't tell. Obviously, it's a pre-tape, Brian, but they implied it was live, even though
Yes.
Disco was on the show.
Well, they lied.
3 Count was on the show.
Pay attention, Brian.
Professional wrestling.
Fit Philly beats up Vampiro for no reason I can tell. In the greatest moment of David Flair's career,
Yes.
even better than the last time he danced with the Nitro Girls, David Flair comes out to dance with the Nitro Girls. It's brilliant. I take back everything and anything negative I ever said about David Flair.
Wow.
It's awesome. So, problem with this is David Flair already has a girl. It's Daphne. So the Nitro Girls leave. David Flair's alone in the ring. He turns around, and there's Daphne, and she's pissed off. And as Madden says, Daphne has David Flair's crowbar. Figuratively and literally.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed.
You know, David was cutting a rug, and then he jumped high in the air and took a flat back bump.
I started humping the air.
It's Rick's kid.
Yes. Yeah, it turns out he is after all. So he is in fact Rick's kid, because after blatantly hitting on like a dozen other women in front of his girlfriend, he sweet-talked his way back into her heart.
That a kid.
This leads to the artist formerly known as Prince Ikea versus David Flair.
You know, they mentioned Crowbar's on commentary.
He sure is.
They reminded us that he was found pumping gas at a service station in a vignette I had totally forgotten about that apparently aired on Thunder. This man,
On the show.
that wasn't on the show for sure.
Okay.
He was pumping
yes,
gas,
yeah.
and Daphne and David discovered him, and now he is a professional wrestler.
That's how easy it is, kids.
Weird.
So, Crowbar on commentary is awesome.
He's been like this since day one, you just noticed.
No, I didn't just notice, but I did, like, you know, he's insightful, he knows his shit, he has great delivery, he works well with the other guys, he's setting them up with things to say and questions to answer. He's phenomenal. And at one point here, Tony says, you know, he's pretty good. And Mark says, yeah, I'm scared for my job. Why is Crowbar not calling matches on Raw in 2019?
Have you watched Raw in 2019?
No, because it's not
Okay,
Crowbar.
after 3 weeks, he'd be horrible.
That's probably true. So, Daphne does a screaming gimmick, by which I mean she screams the entire match. It got old immediately. It was annoying when Melina screamed with Eminem, but at least she'd do it like twice, maybe. Daphne just screamed her head off the whole time.
Oh, God, I remember that.
So,
Bane of my existence.
so Crowbar, Prince Ikea goes off the top rope. Crowbar manages to grab his head as he jumps. This is not the finish. The women are having a horrible fight, and then Prince wins the diving DDT. Again, 17 things after going on all the time.
I did love the fight. Daphne's got a fight with Paisley.
Yes.
So she mounts her and chokes her by the neck. It's brutal.
I believe Daphne would be crazy enough to do that. Cut backstage where there's these shards of a broken guitar and Sid has been laid out.
Bouncers put two and two together. There's broken guitar everywhere. I think it might be Jeff Jarrett.
I was terrified here they're going to take away my main event from me. Don't you dare take away my Sid versus Tank main event. The Harrises get their delivery.
What the crap is this? Says one of the Harris twins. Those exact words. What the crap is this?
Well, it was a fish.
Not hell.
Crap.
What the crap?
What the crap is this? It was
Horrible.
a dead fish. They are angry for like a second, and then Dare says, don't worry about it. You'll get your match with them in Uncensored. And the Harrises say, this is a quote, good point. And they all leave. Way to go, Mamalukes.
So Gene shows up with an update. Says the doctors don't want Sid doing any strenuous activity.
Strenuous physical activity.
And he notes, a world championship title defense against Tank Abbott might be construed as strenuous activity.
Maybe.
Sid shows up. He says, when I quote, it's simple math. First, it's Jeff Jarrett. Then, it's Tank Abbott.
Close.
I thought I was bad at math. That ain't math. That's counting.
No.
To two. Tank
I like what he
Abbott,
said.
I'll see you in hell.
I like what he says, what you make of this is this, Gene. He's woozy. He's selling a concussion. But he promises to see Jarrett at Uncensored. He'll see Tank Abbott in hell.
He was concussed. He's just a brilliant actor,
Get
Brian.
out of here. Shat in the ring.
Excuse me?
Clips of him dancing with James Brown. Maestro interferes. Maestro is forced to listen to bad music on a boombox. I don't even remember the stipulation from a week ago. That's how stupid this is. The fucking music plays, he gets mad. He hits Shat with the boombox and then wins. This show I wrote is wretched.
This show.
Am I missing anything about this shit?
No, you got it. I don't know.
Fucking A.
I don't know when this boombox thing started. Part of me, there's basically two theories. One is that the cat won a bet, and thus the Maestro had to have this music playing.
Dude, there was something that happened on last week's show. We reviewed it.
Well, all that was the cat said, "I have new music for you," and he played terrible music. And
Yeah,
the Maestro
No,
freaked out.
the bet was that the Shat couldn't get James Brown.
Yes, and
paper.
so he did. So now Shat gets to choose bad music for the Maestro, which apparently must be played on a boombox.
Yeah, but they never said
Throughout
anything about
the
that
match.
before. This part's new.
Well, yeah, the show's bad.
Okay. Kurt Hennig's walking backstage. Ric Flair's walking backstage. Lex Luger's preparing for his match, but he and Liz, they can't find the baseball bat. Billy Kidman says, there's one thing I've learned in a fight. It's that you can never underestimate a small man.
Small Tank Abbott.
So I'm picking Tank Abbott. I understand he's probably smaller than Sid.
Yeah,
but this is still
probably.
poor reasoning. Ric Flair versus Kurt Hennig. Could you have done anything to make Hennig versus Flair, where the pride of Minnesota at stake, be any worse?
Well, kind of. I mean, it was the best thing on the show until the finish. They had a very, very fun Ric Flair-Kurt Hennig match. And then that asshole Nick Patrick took a bump. And Luger hit the ring, stomped on Hennig. Then he left. And Hennig just grabs a chair after that beating. Patrick won't allow him to use the chair. Patrick allows anything. So Flair kicks him in the balls in front of Patrick. Patrick counts the pin. Patrick, everyone, is not a heel referee. He's supposed to be an unbiased referee. He's awful. And then Flair whips Hennig, and he is crazier than ever.
So I assume next week will be a vignette where Kurt Hennig goes streaking butt naked down the street.
I'm waiting for it.
Ming! The Monster Ming!
Who can speak English, by the way?
That's a new one.
Prediction for the main event. He talks a little bit about both guys, and here is his prediction. I like to see this match. I like to sit back and watch them kick the hell out of each other.
Yep. No prediction.
That's his prediction.
Yeah.
His prediction is he will enjoy it.
Same as yours.
Pretty much. At this point, my notes simply read, more clips from this shit party.
It's fair.
Lex Luger versus Buff Bagwell.
As noted, Buff is super over as a babyface. Luger's hated.
The women still love him.
Yeah.
I like that it's Lex Luger, the total package. For one very clever fan, made a sign that reads, Lex, no package, loser.
I like it.
So Buff hits the
This was not as good as Flair Hennig.
no. Buff hits the Vader bomb, makes a cover, but Liz put Lex's foot on the ropes. This leads to Flair attacking Buff. Flair and a weight belt in the ring. Liz is about to slide a chair in the ring. None of this is a DQ. But then Flair chop blocks Buff, and this is a DQ. So, Sting comes down. Now, Sting wants to surprise Lex. They couldn't just have Buff get beaten in the corner on the side opposite the entranceway, so Luger would have his back to Sting. No, Sting has to come down to the ringside. He walks down the aisle, and then when he gets to ringside, he has to hide, like Waldo. He has to dip down below the ring apron and hide.
Waldo?
You're right,
I
where's
know
Waldo?
where's Waldo, but that's what you got out of this? You looked at him and thought, it's Waldo?
He's hiding. Clearly, he thought he was hard to see. So eventually, Lex turns his back. Sting gets up on the apron, and Sting hid. Why does Sting hide? Sting hid so he could pull out the bat that I guess Lex was looking for earlier, and reach.
That would be the bat.
And reach inside and go to Lex and go, come on. And Lex sells this by going, what the? And he turns around at Sting, and now he's scared.
That was the guy with the bat that just bonked him in the head. Some idiot's ringing the bell incessantly this entire time, I might add. So, it must have been Daphne.
So eventually he beats Lex up with the bat, and Lex leaves, and it sucked. It sucked.
Oh, Sid.
Sid is my hero. Sid is storming backstage, he ranting to nobody but himself, screaming at the top of his lungs. This is my best translation.
Oh, I wrote it down.
Okay.
He screamed, "Come hell or high water, I will get you, Tank Abbott." And he starts screaming something else, and they just cut away.
He gets as far as
the world champion.
And next to follow will be Jeff. And they cut away to show Tank Abbott walking.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get the hell or high water. I just got now high water.
I rewound it a couple times.
Okay.
I had to hear it.
I will get you, Tank Abbott. And next to follow will be Jeff.
Come hell or high water. Because he's hurt, you know. But come hell or high water, he's going to get Tank Abbott.
The last bit from this lame Nitro party. And then...
God. You're such a geek.
Tank Abbott versus Sid Vicious for the World Heavyweight Championship on the main event of Nitro. The undefeated Tank Abbott and the reigning champion Sid. Mark Madden took the words right out of my mouth. I cannot believe this match is taking place. Tank gets a motorcycle for his entrance. He never has before, but this is a special night. He's challenging for the world title. Sid comes out, all the pyros going off. He's doing knuckle bumps with the fans. Everyone's going crazy. So they get in the ring, and Tank jumps him at the bell. Tank Abbott tries to win with a guillotine. He's got him in this damn guillotine. Sid's down on the ropes, clutching the ropes, which is why it's not a finish. But for like a minute, there's just this guillotine.
Well, the first thing Tank did was go to work on the bad ribs.
Bad ribs.
And then when Sid doubled over, he grabbed his head. Psychology.
Yes. So Tank hits a body shot that sends Sid flying over the top rope out of the ring. Gets back in there. Tank's carrying Sid around. Has a freak accident. He's standing on Sid's back and pulling up on his hair. Here, I believe they said Tank won a lot of Ultimate Fight matches with that choke. Now, I'm no UFC expert. Did Tank Abbott ever attempt a chokehold in a UFC fight?
I believe so.
All right. So, eventually, who said it was the experience? Was it Lash? No, it was Bam Bam. The experience would do Tank in. Bam Bam's a wise man. Mm-hmm. Tank is totally in control. Sid came into this match less than 100%. Tank jumped over the bell, didn't give him a chance to get going, cut off his oxygen, took away his air. He's got this man weak. He's got him down. He's got him finished. But then he makes a mistake and he gets arrogant. And he turns his back. He turns his back to celebrate with the crowd and taunt them. And this gives the mighty champion Sid a chance to recover. Sid jumps to his feet. Sid locks on a sleeper. Sid's eyes are bugging out of his head to the back door of the building. He gets him in the sleeper, and they stumble to the ground, and Sid locks on a crossface. A hold that is not used in UFC, so Tank would not know a counter. And Tank fights and fights, and Tank does not just tap out. Tank hammer fists out, and Sid wins. This is awesome. This is a tremendous Pro Wrestling World Championship match. I loved it. I loved every second of this.
I'll tell the rest of you what really happened here. Tank beat him up for a long time.
Sure.
Sid put him in a sleeper into a crossface, which he lost his grip on at one point.
Yes.
Tank screamed never and then tapped.
Yeah.
And that's the end of Tank Abbott, Vinny. I hope you're happy.
No, I want Tank every week.
Are you kidding me? Just tapped down the middle of the ring to Sid, for crying out loud. His career's over now. He's going to be dancing with 3 count next week.
I see.
He fucked it all up
Okay
with
with
this
that,
guy.
actually.
The match was bizarre. And then, you didn't even notice this. Tank just leaps to his feet and storms off.
Well, just what? How many UFC fights you see where a guy taps out and gets up?
So here's some of Tank Abbott's big wins in UFC, Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
He did win via KO and TKO twice. His next win over Steve Chenham was a neck crank. His next win after that was a forearm choke.
Wow.
Which may have been what he did to Sid. And then he has various wins and losses, including this one here to Maurice Smith. Submission, in parentheses, exhaustion.
That sounds like Tank.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the main event of this show.
You can tell. I need to go back and watch this fight he had with Hidehiko Yoshida. Pride Final Conflict 2005. The finish is listed here as submission, single wing choke.
What was that?
Tank has a wing? What the hell is a single wing choke? That's weird.
A one-wing angel?
Anyway.
Which would be a hell of a finish to a Tank Abbott fight.
Right. So, yes.
You finish your statement. I was going to remind you about Vinny's music.
I'm going to play Vinny's music.
I understand that now.
I know what I'm doing here.
Sometimes.
Give me a damn break. Vinny, you ready?
Hang on. Okay, now. The finishes on this show were pin after all 4 wrestlers and the ref and the manager and the announcers were distracted. Double DQ when the Harrises kill everyone. 3 men pinning 1 in a hardcore match. Clean pin. Pin after interference and weapon shots were not the finish, but the stroke was. Pin despite interference and tons of distraction. Pin after boombox shot. Pin after interference and a low blow. DQ due to interference. And then clean submission by the world champion over an undefeated challenger.
How long was that show? Jesus.
Pretty goddamn long.
How many matches were there?
And 2 clean finishes.
35 full seconds to go over all those matches. Wow. I liked it much better than Raw.
I did too.
Yeah. But man, what a bunch of bad shows this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully it turns around next week, at least on one half of the bracket. All right, are you gonna read your thing?
Talking to you. Oh,
Professional.
Rob. I'm sorry, I didn't